What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm bringing you guys another VGC team building guide. Today we're going to be featuring Iron Treads, and we're going to be making 3 teams from scratch that feature 3 completely unique and different ways to play this Pokemon. So if you've ever wanted to use Iron Treads in your own competitive battles, or you want to learn a little bit more about team building or how I like to build my teams, just sit back, max, relax, and let's hop into it. Let's start by reviewing what Iron Treads really does bring to the table. It is a Paradox Pokemon. It is in Violet version, and it gets the ability Quark Drive. It says if there's an electric terrain or a booster energy used, it raises its highest stat by 1.3 if it's not the speed stat. So the speed stat's going to get a 1.5 boost, but in these other stats like Spadef, attack, defense, it would get a 1.3 boost. So it's actually a really good mon, and I think it's really slept on in VGC. I think a lot of people really like to compare it to things like Great Tusk. And, you know, Great Tusk, I would say, has an arguably better typing. Like, it has ground fighting typing. It gets things like close combat and headlong rush, right? And if we take a look at, like, their stat lines, like, Great Tusk has, like, a 115 base HP, which is amazing. And then, like, a 131 with an 87 base speed. It's good. It's a good Pokemon. It was basically Lando before Lando was in the decks, right? And this thing has a faster speed and less base offensive stats. Just kind of less looking stats at all overall, but it has a little bit better speed. And I would say, like, Ground Steel, it sounds good on paper, but it's a worse defensive typing. You still have weaknesses to, you know, ground, fighting, fire, water. There's a lot of weaknesses that come with Iron Treads, but I do think that Iron Treads does bring a lot to the table because it's a lot chunkier than a lot of people really give it credit for, and I do feel that a lot of people sleep on this thing's bulk. So we're going to build, like I said, 3 completely different teams that feature this Pokemon in creative ways. I'm probably going to be building a standard vest set to start out with, because I think that's what I like to do. I like to start off standard and say, give you guys a good example of what this Pokemon can do on just an average team. If you throw it in, maybe give it some normal standard teammates, you can see how this Pokemon could be used in a very competitive way. And then from there, we'll experiment a little bit with some more meme sets. But that being said, I think I'm going to try building this on more of like a balanced team to start. So I'd like to surround Iron Treads with Pokemon that can help cover up for its weaknesses. I do think that since we have all these weaknesses, like Ground Steel is a pretty defensive type, but we have weaknesses to fire, we have weaknesses to ground, we have weaknesses to fighting, weaknesses to water. There's probably a couple other things as well. I think we should add Pokemon that help us mitigate damage and increase our life. So that means I'm going to add something like an Incineroar just to start off. I don't think you're ever really in a bad spot adding these guys to your team. Yes, Incineroar shares the same ground and fighting weakness, but those are usually physical attacks, which means our Intimidate ability is going to come in hot and make those do less damage to both these Pokemon. And then both those moves are also where we against water. Are mitigated by the Rillaboom. Like, Rillaboom stops a lot of that damage, but Rillaboom comes with another fire weakness, but then we mitigate that with the Incineroar. Remember, Rillaboom also comes with the Grassy Surge to be able to give all 3 of these Pokemon a little bit more sustain. So I think all 3 of these Pokemon are going to be very good together. I think we need to add a couple more aggressive options to the team, but then for the most part, we should just be able to pivot in with the Incin and the Rillaboom, and then bring in the Iron Treads when we feel like it, soak a little bit of damage, and close out matches. So that being said, I think the other 2 partners we're going to want to add here are going to be something like a Tornadus. I think Tornadus is just a really good partner for Iron Treads. We threaten Earthquake, right? Earthquake next to a flying type, but also you know, we have that big weakness to ground on 2 of these Pokemon. Having a flying type is sometimes like a really good play if your opponent has like an all-in mon, like a Landorus or something to deal with these guys. And when we're using Landorus, I think we should probably use Urshifu. You're probably going to be thinking, I'm going to go Urshi Water because I've been using a lot of Urshi Water, but I'm going to go Urshi Dark. I'm going to go Urshi Dark here, and then the last one that I'm going to use to close this out is just a Flutter Mane. Remember, we said we're playing like roughly like balance with like a little bit of like standard aggression, stuff like that. So we have the you know, double U-turn parting shot core over here. We have the speed control here. We have a Sash Month that can trade for a 1 for 1.5, and we have a Flutter Mane that can just close out games once we get our necessary fake out pins and speed control up. And we have that good defensive pivot. Let's think about what this team's weaknesses are. This guy's weak against things like fairy attacks, right? And we come in with a steel type, and this thing's weak against like steel attacks, and you know, we come in with a steel resist, right? So these all kind of go together pretty well. And what I like to do next is start fleshing out some moves that I know I want these guys to use. Let's start with the Iron Treads. I know that I'm probably going to want Knockoff on like a vested set. Knockoff's a pretty good move. We can put that here for now. Do we get high horsepower? We do. I'm going to put high horsepower on this thing. And then for a steel move, I'm actually curious. I don't know how much this thing weighs. I know what I can do to find out how much it weighs. Look at me. Look, professional Pokemon player, that's a +1. Look at this. We're going to go into the Pokédex. We're going to go into the Pokédex. Hey, look at this. This is how we do this. Here we go into the Pokédex. You need to check how much things weigh to see if they want to use Heavy Slam over Iron Head. Details, not Hatena. Details. Here we go. 529 pounds. That's probably enough to use Heavy Slam over Iron Head, but it's kind of hard to say. Like, if we were to run some calcs here, let's go into the damage calculator and see, like, Iron Treads. I'm off, it doesn't even get Heavy Slam. I'm doing those for no reason. So, like, Iron Treads. Like I said, Iron Treads is more common in singles than it is in VGC, but, you know, I still think it can be very good. I've always said this Pokemon was, like, underrated and, like, fun to use. It soaks a lot more damage than you think. So if we plug these two in and we just plug in, like, an Iron Head here, Iron Head and maybe, like, Heavy Slam, you can see, like, Heavy Slam does a lot more to, like, an opposing Flutter Mane than an Iron Head would. So I probably will go with the Heavy Slam. Last one I wanted to like to check would be, like, Bax Caliber. Right? Not that we're really going to fight that many, but it does pop up every once in a while. And Bax Caliber is pretty good into, like, Incin, Torn, Ursh, Rillaboom. So, like, against a Bax Caliber, Iron Head would be a lot more beneficial. So, maybe we do go with the Iron Head then, because it looks like Bax Caliber is probably like 200-300 pounds. So, Heavy Slam might not be the best play. But yeah, I'll probably go Iron Head then. And let's see, what do we want the last move to be? Let's sort this by physical. I'm probably going to go Mega Horn, I think. I think Mega Horn's a pretty good one. It gets Ice Spinner, too. I don't really want to remove my own terrain, but it is an option. I think I'm going to go Mega Horn. Mega Horn is really nice. Oh, it gets Supercell Slam. I didn't even know that. That's cool. I mean, it makes sense. It gets Wild Charge. It does get Wild Charge. Where is it? Wild Charge is in the usually useless moves, but hey, it's not usually useless. It's okay. I think, though, that I will go, like I said, with the Mega Horn, but only if I can, like, Okorillas on the pivot in. I don't know if I want that much attack investment. Let's go back to the damage calculator. Look at this. We're running calcs today, man. I will say my my Iron Treads calcs are not what they should be. Let's see. Let's plug in, like, a 252 HP Rillaboom. Give ourselves, like, a Mega Horn. There's a few things you can hit with Mega Horn, you know. It's a pretty standard, it's a pretty good move. Let's put this to 50. I don't know how much it does, though. I don't want to go like Bug Tear. It's a 2-shot with no investment. And we're going to have to probably be Jolly on this thing. So even if we were to go like full attack investment, it wouldn't do enough. So I don't need Mega Horn. There has to be a better move to use than Mega Horn. Maybe it is just Supercell Slam. Let's plug in Supercell Slam versus Urshi Water. Supercell Slam versus Urshi Water. Being able to hit Urshifu Water is pretty nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda nice. So you can see, Supercell Slam does, it's not enough either. You know, you might as well just use like a Zen Headbutt or something like that. This is a full attack investment. I want to use my Terra. I want to mitigate damage. So that means we probably just want more of like a supporting move in this last spot. So that's where like I'm gonna start looking a little bit more at like maybe Bulldozes and maybe like, oh, Body Press could actually be pretty nice there because we have a good base defense. Yeah, Bulldoze is a solid option. Ice Spinner is a solid option for like removing things. Rock Slide's okay. I feel like they're. Let's take off this physical, and let's just start looking at what other moves you get. If we're talking, remember, on like a vested set. Let's see. Terra Blast could always work. Volt Switch is probably what I want. Yeah, I think Volt Switch. Being able to pivot better, I like that. I vibe with this. Remember, this is a physical attacker, but like 72 isn't base bad. It's not bad. Base special attack, and the Volt Switch is just there to help us pivot because we're gonna have like Parting Shot and U-turn over here. So pretty good stuff. I like this a lot. Maybe we're mostly just gonna be coming in using knockoff and Iron Heads to pin. So that's our move set for this first guy. Let's go into the Incin. We want Fake Out. Don't really need to click Fake Out all that often. It's there for like securing wins, not getting them. We want Parting Shot. And then we're going to have another knockoff user and Flare Blitz. Perfect. And let's go to the Rillaboom. Remember, I like to do my moves first, then my items, then my abilities, things like that. So again, we want Fake Out here again. Actually, I kind of want to use this Rillaboom. Maybe I'll use it in another team building guide that has like Protect, Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Grassy Glide. I think that could be really, really good right now, but you know, it's not what we're working on today. We're going to be building in. It's not going to be AV Rillaboom then. So it's going to be like U-turn here. It's probably going to be Miracle Seed Rillaboom. Unless there was like some other set. I mean, I guess I could go with that Drain Punch that day, but I want U-turn. So let's go Grassy Glide. And I'm going to go Wood Hammer. Right? Sometimes you just got to hit him in the face. Probably going to go Miracle Seed on this guy. Torn, we're going to go Protect. Protect, Tailwind. I mean, do I want Taunt here? Are we weak to Amoonguss? It's kind of hard to say. I'm probably going to go Grass Terror on that Treads, honestly. So let me think. What do I need with my Torn? I know we're going to want Bleak Wind, right? So then what do we want here? We could put Icy Wind here. We could put Taunt here. I am going to, I think, put Taunt here. I've seen a lot of Porygon 2s, and Porygon 2 is so tauntable. It's like the only Trick Room setter that actually is tauntable, so I'm going to put that there. Urshi Dark is going to be very standard with the Detect over Protect, so it's harder to imprison. And then we're going to put Sucker Punch, we're going to put Close Combat, and we're going to put Wicked Blow. Perfect. And as for the Flutter Mane, I'm probably going to build this into a Specs Flutter. I think Booster Flutter is also very, very nice here, but I want Specs here, so that's going to be something like Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam. The reason why I'm not adding Booster with like Icy Wind and stuff like that is because we're going to be pivoting so much with these guys that they also can't really function that well off like +1, -1 calcs from Icy Wind, so I'm making the executive decision to not use a Booster Icy Wind set and just going for more damage. So it's going to be something like Shadow Ball. All right, and that's going to, if I can spell it, Lamau. So Shadow Ball, and the last one is going to be Power Gem here. I like Power Gem. Hitting those Fire Ponds, hitting Entei's, very, very beneficial. Still hitting Arcanines, Incineroars, good stuff. I like it. So all of our moves are done. From here, I want to make sure my abilities are right. So we have Quark Drive, we have Intimidate, Grassy Surge, Prankster, Unseen Fist, and Protosynthesis. So now I'm going to start adding my items. Like I said, I want that Choice Specs. So Choice Specs, we want that Focus Sash. We want, what do I want here? Rocky Helmet, maybe? Don't really need Mental Orb, because normally I would Sash, then Ursh. Sorry, I would normally Sash the Torn on a team like this, but I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to go Rocky Helmet. I like being able to trade effectively with that. I could even do something. There's a couple other like good options here. Let me really think about this. Like I've been really thinking about using Adrenaline Orb here, just soaking Intimidates. I'm going to actually Cloak it. I like Cloak. Cloak's good on this team. That way I can lead like Torn, Flutter, and just like win. I like that. This is going to be Miracle Seed. This is going to be a Citrus Berry. And this is going to be my Assault Vest. Cool. So very, very standard mon so far. I like to do my EVs before really taking a look at my Terras. So let's start working on our EVs. The first thing you always want to get with your EVs, especially on these more aggressive mons, is making sure your speed stat's exactly where you want it to be. The first thing we're going to do, though, is take a look at some of the faster Pokemon in the meta. You can see if I sort this by speed on Pokemon Showdown, it shows everything's base speed, and we can scroll all the way down to where Iron Treads is and see what we actually need Iron Treads to outspeed. So Iron Treads is speed tying Enamorous Therian. It's still slower than things like Terrakion, Virizions. It's slower than things like Walking Wake and Ninetales and the Raichus and all the Ogerpons, right? But we do outspeed a lot of other stuff down here. So being able to outspeed Lilligant is actually kind of nice. If you want to go full speed and outspeed Lilligant every single time, more power to you. That's a good mon to outspeed. Usually Lilligants come with Torkoal and Enable the Sun, but if like I lead Iron Treads Tornadus and you lead Lilligant Torkoal, I can set a Tailwind and my Iron Treads would still outspeed. So that's good. That being said, we can drop some speed out. We don't need to outspeed Iron Leaves. I don't think it's that popular. Outspeeding Garchomp could be kind of nice, but I really think the mon that we have to outspeed here is going to be Landorus. So Landorus gets to a 101 base speed, especially because we have that huge weakness to Landorus, right? We definitely want to outspeed that guy. Landorus Therian, sorry. Right, so Landorus Therian. And then we might even want to speed creep it by like an extra point, just because that would speed creep things that are speed creeping Landorus by 1 point. So Landorus Therian gets built like this usually, so it gets to 157. And we need to outspeed that by 1 point, at least. I will also say that like if we're taking a look at these speed steers, is that the right Landorus? It's the wrong Landorus. Give me the wrong Landorus. Actually, not Therian. I'm so sorry. It's Incarnate. Same thing for the Enamorous Incarnate. I was like, that's the wrong Landorus. You guys are like, that's a +1. What are you doing out here? Bam. I was like, this guy's too slow. Yeah, right here. Bam. So 168. So it's 1 point faster than all the base 100s. So by proxy, also outspeeding this Landorus will let us outspeed all the base 100s, like things like Volcarona, Salamence, Zapdos. There's a lot of popular base 100s. We're going to be able to outspeed those as well. So we want to get to 169. I think I'm actually going to get to 170 to speed creep those by 1 point. So you can see by just going 252 in treads, we're not going to get there. We need to make ourselves jolly. And then by making ourselves jolly, we way overshoot it. So we can take a lot of these points out and get to 169, right? But I think, like I said, I'm going to go one little bump faster just to outspeed things that are outspeeding those by 1 point. So 228 is all we need in speed, right? And that's a lot of our investment, right? I realistically think that, you could realistically just go 252 here and then like a 420, and there'd be nothing really wrong with that. Be absolutely nothing wrong with this. I don't think I want this much attack on my Iron Treads. I want to soak damage, right? So that being said, I want to see how much attack I actually need on Iron Head to KO like a Flutter Mane. right? So Flutter Mane. Right here, because I'd like to be able to OHKO those if I can. So we're right here, and so you can see Iron Head does 121 to a neutral, like full, offensive Flutter. See how much that does. So that against like a 252 HP Flutter, which is relatively still common. We only need 4 points to be able to KO that thing. And let's see what happens if we put like a little bit more. So every about two bumps, we get an extra 1.2%. 1.4%. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think that's fine. I'd like to see how much damage we do against Shempow. Let's see. And that was against like a bulkier Flutter. There obviously are ways to make Flutter even bulkier, but yeah. So Iron Head does an 81% with 36 investment. Let's see what happens if I take that out. I just want to see. Maybe it's gonna be like 77. Oh, dude, look at me. I know my calcs, right? All right. So yeah. I think that this is fine. It's going to be a 2-shot, but like you can see, even if I were to go full investment, it's not even always a 2-shot. And these guys are sash. I just need to make sure I'm doing half. Let's go back to our 36. One reason why 36 is still really relevant here, because even if I eat an Intimidate, right, I'm still doing half. I'm still 2-shotting it. Versus like this might not KO a Shempow that has like something like some sort of bulk investment, I don't know how bulky these guys are going, but like if they have like any bulk investment, I always want to make sure I can 2-shot with an Iron Head even at -1. So 36 is all I really need here. So if we only need 36 here, one thing we're going to do is just throw a 4/4 into each defensive stat. Because remember, cutting that up, we could just go something like this. We could just go 244 here and call it a day. You usually want to put those points in in HP as opposed to defenses, because you're mitigating points to damage to both defense and speed up at the same time. But I think you want to cut up that last little 8 into 2 sets of 1. Right, because 1 point in HP is not worth the same as 1 point in each respective defense stat. So this is a much more effective EV spread. This guy's going to be very, very bulky. And we got that vest. And if we pair that with like Intimidates and like Grassy Terrain, Sustain, this Pokemon's going to be able to stick around for a really, really long time, be able to knock off a lot of different mons. I think this thing's going to be hard to, like, it's going to have a bad matchup into like Ogerpons, but that's where like this, and this come in. So that's kind of like where I'm looking at with this team. As for the Incineroar, let's take a look at our speed stat first. I want my Incineroars to be a little bit on the speedier side. I think the fastest you're ever going to see anyone use Incineroar is like 92, and that's actually where I'm going to go. I want my Incineroar to be as fast as possible. This doubles into outspeeding things like Tornadus. Tornadus would look something like this 179, so this is going to be over that 180s. It's going to be outspeeding Tornadus. It's going to be outspeeding things that outspeed Tornadus by 1 and outspeeding Lycanroc by 1, so I like this in Tailwind. From there, I'm not really a fan of like heavy attack in Sin. I think you can actually just do like a very, very similar set that you did with the Iron Treads. I don't even like want any attack. Like I'll throw 4 in there, but like something like well, not like that. We have a lot of points. We're going to go probably max HP on this thing. I don't really see an issue with that. And then I'm going to throw a lot more of my points probably into defense. And then from there, I guess I could go Adamant, but I don't really think I need it. I'm probably just going to put my points back into defense. I think this is fine. I'm not a big Incineroar guy, but I think Incineroar does a good job at being able to come in, soak damage, apply a Fake Out, knock off something we need, Parting Shot Out, come back in, that second Intimidate. Being able to live as long as possible when using Incineroar, that's the strength this Pokemon brings to the table. Not being able to like OHKO things with Flare Blitz. That being said, if we wanted to take a look at Incineroar, right, let's make sure we can KO like something if we have to KO something, right? So let's just plug in like a Flare Blitz. So let's plug in Flare Blitz first, like Shempow. You can see like Shempow just gets absolutely melted still. But let's plug in like Rillaboom. We might want to put like some attack. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Incineroar guy. Yeah, we could put like some points. That's a sweeper Rillaboom, so they're going to be built like this. And so like I don't want to do, I think people, you don't need that much, but some people do like that 148 Adamant. This isn't the format yet. We're not evolved in the meta enough yet to make like this viable, but if you wanted to do that, you definitely could. I'm not saying I would, but hey, go nuts. I think 2-shotting Rillaboom's fine. And we're still at a 2-shot here. Let's take this all out and go like 4. You can see we do 89, and even if we're at like a -1, we're still doing half, right? So it's like we're still fine. I think we're good. As for Rillaboom, I think I like my Rillabooms a little bit more aggressive. You usually only need about 60 points in Rillaboom, because this would be able to, if you had any +1, -1 calcs, which you are going to have from Bleak One, we'd be able to outspeed base 100s. I like my Rillabooms a little bit on the slower side. Actually, honestly, I'm going to make this Rillaboom like really slow so we can lead it into Indies. I'm going to go 0 speed, reduced Rillaboom. So we can just lead it into Indies, no matter what. And then from there, I'm going to probably go like a 252, and then probably something like a 4, 4. Actually, that's not even going to be right. There's nothing really wrong with this here. This is as good of a Rillaboom set as we're going to need. I want my Rillaboom to be able to hit really, really hard. And I've talked about this before. You want a slow Pokemon. So if you have to like hard pivot something out, you can hard pivot in like your Intimidate user and let them bring in their Mon first and then re-bring your Intimidate user to re-intimidate them. Also, having a slow U-turn on something like the Rillaboom is really, really good. You're able to soak damage, see what they bring in, see what they're doing, and then U-turn to then re-pin with what you want. It's really, really good. And honestly, like Rillaboom, it's just kind of here to set the terrain. I'm not really probably going to use Rillaboom all that much. It's good into Psy Spam, though, so I do like this. Tornadus, I think there's nothing really wrong with, well, I'll show you why clicking the button's wrong. It thinks I want to support Tornadus. I do not. I want an aggressive Tornadus. I usually always like aggressive Tornaduses when I like to build this Pokemon, and that's generally just because like this thing outspeeds Ogerpon by 1 point, and Ogerpon, like I already said, gives these guys problems sometimes. So being able to outspeed that and threaten it with a super effective Weak Wind Storm, maybe Force of Terra, really, really good. I like this mon a lot. Very, very standard. Urshi, you can click the button for sure. Definitely don't care about bulk investment on a Sashmon. And last but not least, we're into Specs Flutter. Now, I'm a big proponent of saying that you can click the button on Flutters, and there's nothing really wrong with that. And I think we could just click the button on this Flutter. I actually really do like a full speed Flutter, being able to threaten Shenpaos with a speed tie, being able to always know that your Flutter's faster than them, because we don't have a ton of speed control. We don't have Icy Winds. We don't have like Branch Pokes or any other whatever move that Rilla has that slows them down. We don't have a lot of layers of speed control. We just have Tornadus. So being able to just see a Flutter and be like, I can kill that. I'm going to put the value here. If they want to mess with us and like come in and like double into our Flutters and do all these like crazy things and like layer up like multiple sucker punches and do whatever, that's fine. That's not like what this Flutter's job is. His Flutter is to come in, trade for a 1-for-1 or trade for like a 1-for-2 in some situations, or close out a game where you already have your speed control up. I think we don't need to really... We're not ever going to be planning on soaking more than one hit, and that one hit is like a force trade. But yeah, let's talk about our Terras. I think I want to go Grass here. It still keeps the fire weakness, which is fine, but it gives us like resistances to now water. It gives us resistances to ground and other things like that. Bug is also an acceptable option because it gives you a resistance to fighting as well. But I think Grass is just really good. I think I have it on fire here, but Grass is really good. I think Grass is a solid option here. Incineroar, I like to go Water. Just to be able to mitigate as much damage as possible, get into water ponds and things like that. Rillaboom, double dip that grass on this guy. Torn, I'm going to go Dark on my Torn. I really like Dark Torn recently into like Psy Spam, and since we have a Cover Cloak, we don't have to care about Fake Out. We don't need Ghost. I don't really need to double dip Flying, so Dark's good. It's good into Psy Spam and like makes so I can't get pranked or taunted back. Urshifu, we're going to go Ghost here, just because I don't like getting Fake Outed in situations where I can help it. And Flutter, we're going to double dip Fairy. So very, very simple team that kind of shows off Iron Treads, and let's go play some games. Okay, there's that sun. All right, we talked about it, right? We talked about Hisuian Lilligant, right? Being a threat for Iron Treads. But that being said, I still think Iron Treads can be very good here. I think Iron Treads is good into Raging Bolt. I think it's pretty decent into Rock Pond. Our set's good into Flutter Mane. So as long as we're like not losing to Lilligant, which we can also Grass Terra to block like a Spore or something, I think we would be in a good spot. One cool thing about this team is if they want to lead Whims and enable Sun to like enable a Typhlosion, well, we also can do those things. So yeah, I think I'm going to lead a Fake Out user first. I'm going to lead in Sin. Because I think they're probably going to want to go like Cover Cloak here, and then maybe like a Ghost Terra Eruption. So like, and Sin's just like a really good mon at mitigating that damage. I can trade Tailwinds with them. Then I can bring out the Treads, close with a Flutter. I think I'm in a good spot. So there's the Whims, there's Typhlosion. So again, there's a Covert Cloak somewhere. It's probably on the Whims, and that probably does have Ghost Terra. I don't think there's an issue, though, with Fake Out in the Typhlosion and trading Tailwinds with them. And then next turn, just doubling into the Typhlosion slot and getting ready for Treads to close out the game. But let's see what they do. If they don't go Ghost Terra Typhlosion, we're in a great spot. Fire Terra, double dip. Yo, we take those unless it's cloaked. So there's our Tailwind. Sunny Day, there it is. There's the flinch. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Because they can't set Sunny Day and Tailwind at the same time. Now they can totally go for that Tailwind. But what if I had Taunt, which I totally do, right? They're going to be in for a not so great time. Let me think what I really want to do here. I can just Parting Shot and just lose. Yeah, I think that's fine. I could also just knock off that thing and set up for a Flutter pin. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna Parting Shot. I think Parting Shot's fine here, and we're just gonna taunt. And you could be Mental Orbed, but I doubt it, right? Yeah, you can't Tailwind. Heat Wave's absolutely fine. Boom. So we soak that damage. We can come with the Treads here. We have the speed control, so it's good stuff. And that is a Scarf Typhlosion being able to still outspeed my Sin in Tailwind. Cool. Treads is up. Tread stonks up. Here we go. And we're going to go just for a high horsepower and just a Bleak Wind. Easy peasy. You can pivot around, do whatever you want here, but as long as I don't miss this high horsepower, we should be in a good spot. I think we can, even with like no attack investment, like dump truck a Typhlosion. So yeah, you got to take that pivot. Oh, that's not the right amount to come in with here. Special attack boost on that guy. Almost KOs the Wims. They're going to attack, probably take out the Torn, but like, look at that damage. That's so good. And Moonblast, this is actually fine because now we just get that same pivot, same pin with the Flutter. We have the speed control. This is the last turn of my Tailwind. But their Wims, they're going to have to pivot here. So I'm just going to come in with the Flutter. And we're looking at what they have to pivot in. They do not have that many things that pivot in on Flutter. Note that we get the speed boost here, which is really, really nice. We don't really care about a Thunderclap either. I'm just going to go for a high horsepower here and go for the Fairy Terra D-Gleam just to be able to catch something hard on a pivot, right? And the Sun's also going to be helping us because they're going to have to bring out the Typhlosion, right? And then, like, we're still faster than them. So I think we're in a good spot. I wonder if the right play here is probably pivot out the Wims and then re-bring in something else. But if I can get like a double KO here, that's great. We could also even do something like this. What if we even went further beyond? What if we pivoted in our Sin and went for the Fairy Terra D-Gleam here and got a double KO, and then we have a fake out pin for whatever they bring into the back. That's an even better play. It's an even better play. There's their Flutter. So we can't fake out that, but we can fake out the Typhlosion that they have back there. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. They get a speed boost as well, but remember we talked about it. Knowing that our Flutter always has like the control in the match, very, very solid. So we're going to be able to fake out their Typhlosion here, D-Gleam it up. And we have no more Tailwind, but we still have like a ton of control in this matchup. This Typhlosion does not want to eat like a double tap from this Flutter. It does not. It's resisted here, but we're really, really weakening the effectiveness of their Eruption. We have a Sin that's right about to get a Citrus Berry proc, and we still have the Iron Treads. Flutter main protecting is smart, but you can see we're just doing a ton of damage from the Specs Flutter. Tons of damage. Now they're really, really weak, and now there's no more Sun, but like at this point, I think we're just fine. We're just going to go for... Don't want to go for Flash Fire here. Sorry, I don't want to go proc that. I'm just going to go for a knockoff into that slot. I want that slot gone. And he's Scarfed. He's going to probably lock in Heat Wave, and we already know that we can like 1v1 that Flutter with our Iron Treads if we have to. So, yeah, let's see what they got here. They still have a Raging Bolt, but Scorching Sands. He's locking in Scorching Sands. Yo, that's cool. It's cool. And they won a Speed Tie to do that, by the way. They won a Speed Tie to get that Shadow Ball off, and it just doesn't do anything, right? We just take those all the way to the bank. Last Mon is going to be the Raging Bolt, but at this point, we just win. We don't even need to pivot in the Treads. We can just go for a knockoff here, and actually, there I will pivot in the Treads because I want to. Pivot in Treads and just D-Gleam. You can Thunderclap here, you might get the KO, but like not even going to be it. So you don't need that bulk on the Flutter, right? You don't need it. So we won this game. I think that Iron Treads positions itself very well, but I'm going to go into one more because I want to use a little bit more Iron Treads. So yeah, that was a pretty good one. I liked everything that was done well on that one. Let's see. This is a little bit of a harder one. We don't know what kind of Urshi that is. I'm going to think it's Urshi Water. But like Urshi Water with like Ogre Pawn, Grass, they're going to definitely be trying to anticipate us using this. I think the Iron Treads is good here. It's good into the Entei. I think it's deceptively good into Entei because we can like have Treads, use it as bait to pivot in Incineroar fake out Entei's teammate. It just really slows Entei down. We also have like knockoff for things like the Latias and stuff like that. So how do I want to deal with this? They have fake outs. I'm going to lead with the Iron Treads. I'm bringing Sin in the back. And I'm thinking what I want to lead with at the front. I don't really want to lead Flutter main. I want to lead Torn. And this threatens Earthquake as well. So I'm going to put even more respect on the slots. So when I pivot in Sin, it's going to be a little bit better. So let's go with this. So there always has to be like a reason behind what you're doing. It doesn't always have to be perfect or correct, but there has to be reasons. So you can't fake out our Torn here. So, oh, a Speed Booster one. Cool. So like I'm going to try, I don't think this outspeeds 170. We might be able to outspeed that. So let's just go for it. If you're fake out on the Torn, you're about to be in for a bad time. And I'm like not really afraid if you want to fake out the Treads. I'll just do it next turn. So yeah, we're going to go for it. Let's get this guy off the board. It's the right play. I get a Tailwind out of it though. We can do like bring in what? Icy Wind? Oh, good play. We get a lucky miss on our Iron Treads. That is a lucky miss. They now know that we're cloaked here because we can get a speed drop. They're probably going to protect and do something, but I don't really care. Iron Head. do I want to pivot in Sin? It won't get me into Intimidate there, but it will give me a fake out pin on whatever they bring in the back. The problem is whatever they have in the back probably does mess up our guy here. I'm actually going to just Protect. I don't want to get like Gigaton. And I'd like to force you to swap too, because you're going to lose your booster, which means our Flutter Mane should be able to bully you in the late game. Right? So this is a very passive turn, but I'm threatening a KO on your Flutter Mane. There's the Urshifu Rapid Strike Water. Cool. What if I Bleak Winded there? What a nutty play that would have been. Okay, yeah, I'm still fine with this. You can pivot in that you can pivot in over there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. I'm okay with just clicking the Bleak Wind here. I'm trying to think if I really want to Terastallize this. I actually can just eat anything this thing throws at us. It's fine. And Bleak Wind's great damage. Always going to Oak with that Urshi, unless it was sashed. Big damage there too. Yeah, they don't have enough tools. And now, like I said, we got the pivot out of that Flutter Mane that we wanted. You can come in back here, but I can just hit you in the mouth. So let's see. I'm going to taunt this Latias and probably just go for... I could Volt Switch and we're going to Fake Out Pin. I could knock off I could double into the Latias. They're going to Fake Out me, so it doesn't matter. I'll just High Horsepower. It's okay. And I'm really liking the taunt on this Latias here. Or on the Tornadus here. It's been so good, right? Like, what do you do? Tailwind? Chilling Water. Dude, this guy's out here, man. What a gamer. Holy moly. That's fine. I'm going to reset my Tailwind. Pivot in... I'm going to Volt Switch, sorry. Volt Switch targeting Latias because you know it can't Protect. And we're going to Re-Tailwind. Cool. So let's see what they want to do. Tailwind's up. Volt Switch these. It's not really doing that much damage here, but Incineroar's going to be able to come in. I'm sure we're not going to be able to intimidate the Tinkaton. Probably has a good ability. Yep. Clear Amulet Tinkaton. Whoa, and it blew the Gigaton Hammer. Nice. Cool. So now we're just going to start going for like... I'm probably just going to get this thing off the board before it can actually do anything crazy. But yeah, I think Latias is a good Pokemon. I definitely respect it in this format. Again, there's the Protect Tinkaton. So remember how we were talking a little bit about like not throwing like Volt Switches into Pokemon that aren't taunted because they can Protect? What if they like protected my Volt Switch? I just would have took a ton of damage there. We got that Latias for free. We're going to, let's think about how I want to do this. I'm probably just going to Parting Shot their Flutter, drop a Protect, and then bring out something else. I'm probably going to bring in the Treads. But I'd like my Torn to stick around for like one more turn, so the next turn they actually have to throw damage into the Torn. I get basically 2 hits with my Iron Treads off, and then I just bring out my my Flutter and close the game out, and we have like a Fake Out Pin. So we're in a really good spot here. Water Terra, cool. We're wasting all these resources from our opponent. Like, I absolutely love it. So we're faster than them right there. Are they? That's surprising. That was a speed boosting Flutter that now my Sin is faster than. So it's really weird. Are they Trick Rooming? They might be. This is still the right play here. Dazzle. They just click the Dazzle. That doesn't do anything against Treads, bro. And there's the Gigaton Hammer. Like, Treads just eat these for breakfast, bro. Cool. So we can throw an attack in there. They're probably going to... I wonder what they're going to do. Will that even KO us here? It might. Let me think about this. I'm going to actually, not High Horsepower. Yeah, I'm going to Respect the Flutter. And... I could Bleak Wind. You could Protect. I think we have enough tools that we're still fine. I don't think you can actually KO me here. You might. But I don't like need to do anything else. Encore. Ooh, okay. Oh, I see you. I see you out here. I just need to reapply my Tailwind once and I win the game. That's sick. So it only has like 1 attack. Hold on then. Like, I don't ever need to care. I'm just gonna Volt Switch in there, bringing the Incin. Yeah, I mean, like, it only has Gigaton Hammer. It can Gigaton Hammer this turn if it wants. And no one's saying that it can't. That is not enough. Volt Switch. If you Gigaton here, I just bring up my Flutter, and then like we know that your Flutter is like slow and weak, so Gigaton Hammer there, it's totally fine. Because now we have like everything I think that we do need. We're just gonna bring in Flutter Mane here. And let's make sure that we get this right. Because now your Gigaton's on cooldown. You're gonna Protect here, which means I'm just gonna double into this slot. And I'm gonna Fairy Terra just to make sure. Would you double Protect? Are you that much of a gamer? Let's find out. It's a good play. Protect there is happening. Good play. I like that for you. Cool. Yeah, we're just going to Shadow Ball here and knock off that same slot. I wonder if they're going to double Protect. What a gamer play that would be. Yeah, I'm not that afraid of the Tinkaton that only has 1 attack. Like, honestly, like, if we had any protects, we'd be able to wait it out, but we don't. Gigas and Hammers, like, absolutely fine. No big deal. Good play from them. We should be able to close this one out, though. We knock off a clear Amulet. And now we could just cycle everything if we really wanted to. That'd be funny. I don't want to miss this. Knockoff's fine. Knockoff plus a second knockoff is good. Protect is fine. Just do it again. Knockoff plus second knockoff. And we don't need to go for high horsepowers. Those can miss. We don't need to go for Volt Switch, Fake Out Pins. Like, we'll get it with both these mons. Yep, does not matter. And Sin will be able to take it out. It's the safest way to get it. So we're going to take those wins. We used a lot more Iron Treads in that game. And, yeah, I think this is how I would like to play a vested Iron Treads. If you guys like this series and you want to see more, let me know what Pokemon you want to see me work on next. We still have 2 more teams to work on, right? But I do think this is like how I would play this Pokemon, very standard. It doesn't really need that much attack. It really bullies people with its speed stat and like uses a lot of really good damaging moves. It basically it 2-shots most things. Even through like an Intimidate, it still does a ton of damage. So that's how I would use this guy if I was playing it standard, right? Let's mix it up just a little bit. Let's mix it up just a little bit now and go into an Iron Tread set that is going to be using some little bit different tech. I'm probably going to make this one into like a body press Iron Defense set. And so I really want to see what I want to pair it with that would make a good partner. Remember, we have weaknesses to fire, water, ground, fighting. There's a lot of weaknesses. I kind of liked that Latios that we saw in the last one, but let's see. What do we want to pair this with that can actually still help us hit ghosts? What Pokemon is the best in the game at hitting ghosts? I think like another ghost would actually be really good. I actually am going to try Dragapult. Right? Because Dragapult will be able to outspeed Flutters, and if you go like Terra Blast, whatever, like it can actually just bully their Flutters and keep their Flutters from having that big impact in the game. We also get access to things like Sucker Punch if they are a little bit faster, like on a booster set, and we know they're going to do something, like we can really threaten those. I think we go like Dragapult, Shenpao, right? And I think we probably need like a Dragonite here. I like Dragonite. So we're making ourselves a little bit weak to things like Flutters and other ghosts here, but we have the right mons to be able to close them out. We have just enough stuff that we're just like, oh, I don't like that. I think I'm probably going to go Entei here as well. And then I want a Tailwind Mon. I guess I could make Dragonite that Tailwind Mon, but let's just check what we got here. Let's just see. I could even cut like Entei for like a Talonflame if I really wanted to. What are some good underrated Tailwind setters? Pheasantdipity's fun. Cleavor. Dude, that's sick. I don't need it, but like it's cool. Let's see. Galar Moltres is fun. Roaring Moon's still usable. Scizor is good. Ooh, I like Scizor. It just pins their Flutter really hard. It might even keep it just out of the match. I'll go Scizor. That sounds fun. I've been using a lot of Scizor. I think Scizor is a really underrated mon. Scizor and Entei go together so well. Like, Entei has weaknesses to, like, ground and water. Scizor beats ground and water mons pretty well. Scizor's weaknesses are, you know, that big fire. Entei comes and mitigates that pretty well. So this whole team is going to be, like, really hyper aggressive, but with, like, a standard super defensive Iron Treads to be able to, like, kind of bring the game back in when it gets out of control, right? So like I said, we're going to be building this guy with a little bit of Protect, a little bit of Iron Defense, because we have such a good defense stat, right? It's amazing. Even with the Shenpao on the board, this is still going to do a ton of damage, and soak a ton of damage. And then we're going to have Body Press. And then, like, unlike standard, like, Iron Defense Body Press mons, this Iron Head actually does a lot of damage. You saw it in the last game. So 112 base attack Iron Head, like, we actually still just, like, Oko their Flutter here. So it's a really good mon. I think it's going to be fun. I think Goldango is going to be a bit of a problem. That's why I added things like Pult, Shenpao, and Entei to be able to deal with Goldango if we see them. So that's going to be how I'm going to play this Iron Treads. We're going to be building probably like a Banded Pult here. So that's going to be Dragon Darts. It's been a while since I've used Banded Pult, but I still think it's a really good set. Dragon Darts, Sucker Punch. I'm going to put U-Turn and probably Terra Blast. And we're probably going to go Terra Blast Ghost. For this guy, we're going to go Sash probably. We're going to go Protect. Sucker Punch is my move of choice. We have Sacred Sword to be able to break things at setup, and I like Ice Spinner, just because like terrains might make this a little bit problematic. Dragonite is going to probably be Assault Vest, and I'm going to try a different Assault Vest Dragonite. So I actually want Ice Spinner here too. I want 2 Ice Spinners. Extreme Speed, right? And then we probably want Outrage and Aerial Ace. I don't think we need as much coverage for ground. Normally you'd want to put like Stompy Tantrum here because we have this guy that just absolutely like walls in Sin hard and can just like set up and just like one-shot everything, right? So I'm going to try this. I want that second spinner. Entei, right? So I'm not using, right? I'm already using my band. I'm already using my vest. this Entei is going to be a special attacker with Eruption. And people are not going to see that coming. So special attacker Entei. So let's sort it by special and see what we want. We can even go like mixed Entei, but I want this Entei to do like a lot of special damage. So like Eruption's good, Scorching Sands is good, Weather Ball is good in case they do get up a weather. And then I think I'm just going to put like Heat Wave, just in case like I have to bring it in the mid game and there's like nothing there. I could even put like Snarl here. I might even put like Snarl over. Yeah, I like that, so that's fine. This is just going to be a fun mon. I think it's going to be a good time. I'm going to play with a Scarf. This guy's going to go Life Orb though. All right, we're going to Life Orb Scizor, probably a little bit of Protect, a little bit of Tailwind, and then I'm going to go U-Turn and Bullet Punch. Standard way to play Scizor, right? So now let's start adding our items. Like I said, we already got our Life Orb here, we got our Choice Scarf here. Maximum Degeneracy on this Entei set. We're going to have an Assault Vest here, and we're going to have a Sash here, and we're going to have a Band here. And this guy's going to have Leftovers. Very, very standard team. Building this pretty quick out here. So now that we have all these, let's start taking a look at our EVs. This guy does not need to be as fast as the last one at all. I would say if you want to get like right here, this is probably way faster than you need. I don't even think you need any speed investment at all on this thing, just because it has such a good base speed. I'm gonna put 4 because it's gonna be extra. Just because anyone else is running Iron Treads, we're gonna be able to outspeed their full bulk sets by 1, right? That being said, you want to max out this. I even think you could do something like this, and it would not be bad. Probably something like that is probably, like, no lie, as good as you really need on this Pokemon. You can even cut this up into like a 244, right? And go with like a 4-4 there. That's probably about as good as you're really gonna need on this thing. I think that this guy is gonna get such a boost from like the iron defenses. Definitely putting your nature into this spot as well is gonna make it so you get the 10% boost to a much higher stat. Remember, 10% boost to a 120. It makes us go from 141 to 155. That's something like 14 points. That's way more than something like, well, let's just take a look here. It would go from 121 to 133. That's 12. So 2 more points by putting it right here. We take those 2 more points all the way to the bank. So it's going to be better. Dragapult. Can you click the button? Definitely click the button. I think that you need to outspeed Fluttermanes and Iron Bundles. Might as well outspeed Iron Bundles. So I don't mind going full speed Pult, but we do still need to be Jolly. So a full speed Iron Bundle, if it was like already used its booster, that's gone, it'd be 206. We need to get 207 on Pult. So we're going to drop a little bit out. Bam. So it's going to be able to outspeed that. And we're just going to go with like a 4. Button's incorrect there. 4-4. All 4s for legal help. Pult has a higher base HP. So like you could put these points straight into defense and do something like this, and it wouldn't be wrong. I think what I'm going to do actually is put them over here into Spadef, just so we have a little bit better matchup into something like a Fluttermane. I think it's fine. Pult has like a higher base HP, so it doesn't really need those points there. You can click the button on Shimpow, puts it right into Spadef, which is fine. Dragonite. Dragonite doesn't need to be that fast. It needs to get to at least 112. But I want my Dragonites to get to 121 to be able to outspeed like Landos and other things from any +1 calcs. And not that we have them, right, because we don't, but being able to outspeed mons that outspeed those mons, like so if your opponent has teams that are made for +1, -1 calcs with like Icy Winds, Electro Webs, we're going to be able to outspeed those with our Dragonites, so it's going to be fine. Right here, 252 plus 4, 4, and 84. Absolutely fine. Dragon has high base HP as well, but it has even better base defenses, so it's just going to be a little bit more effective to build it just like this. You can even put more speed. I think some people like to put a 172 in the Dragonite. Bam. So this is a set that I've used before. I like it a lot. I'm very comfortable with it. Entei. You can definitely click the button here on the Entei. So I like this. Full speed, like Timid Entei Eruption. It's going to do a lot more damage than they think. Remember, we're going to have that inner focus ability to make it so we don't have to worry about Fake Out, and we're just going to slam Eruptions in matchups where they're really not protecting. We're not predicting it. Sorry. Scizor's a little bit different, though. Scizor is a Tailwind setter, but we want that slow U-turn. You need to get right here to be able to outspeed Genies with U-turn, but I don't really want to outspeed them. So it's weird. I want to outspeed Incens though. So I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go right here, 91. Absolutely fine. 252 here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then like a 4-4, 204. I've used this Scizor before. I actually think we might want to take a couple points out. Right there, 169 is going to end it with a 9. This makes our Life Orb take 1 less health every single time we use it, and we're going to put those right into Spadef. And you may think, like, why don't you put these into defense? You've always said defense is where the meta is. We have a Shenpao that's going to be shredding our own defenses, so I'd rather put points into Spadef because that's not being shredded. So we just have a better matchup into, like, Flutters and things like that. So last thing we need to do here is set our Terras. I think Scizor is best off as a Water Terra in most situations. Entei can actually double dip that Fire. Dragonite's going to be that big normal Terra. Shenpao can go Ghost or Stellar. I think both are very viable. Dragapult's going to need to be Ghost, so we can actually go over that big Terra Blast into Flutter Means. And this guy, you can go Grass. I like Grass Terra on this thing. I do like Grass Terra, but I think I'm going to go Water here as well. I think I'm going to try the Water one. So let's go into some games with this team now, and hopefully get some big wins. Iron Tread's about to be popping off, and people are going to look at this team, and they're going to see it's Booster, it's Booster, because there's no other mons can use the Booster. They're going to think it's Booster. I wish I went Grass for the Amoonguss. It's fine. I actually think we're in a good spot here, because, like, what does this team do to, like, Treads? You can just lead with Treads. If you have a board state that, like, threatens them to attack you every single turn with Treads, you're doing something right? Because, like, if I can leave that one body press, I'm going to be good. So if I lead, like, Treads Shenpao, they're going to be like, fuck, I have to deal with that Shenpao. I have to fake out it. I have to do something. Treads is going to get its value off. I'm actually going to lead Treads Entei and threaten that board with an Eruption. It's good here, here, here. So I really like that. And then from there, I'm going to try closing out with, like, Shenpao. Not going to bring Scizor into Farigiraf. Dragonite could definitely be usable, but I know there's going to be a Fairy Tale there somewhere. I'm going to bring the Dragonite still. I think Dragonite has a lot more value than it's looking like on paper. And I think Treads is going to absolutely just steamroll through these guys. So Farigiraf, there it is. You can totally Trick Room us. Like, we're going to be, you know, Iron Defense until the cows come home. And I'm just going to Erupt. I don't think I need a Terra yet. Just Eruption. What are you going to do? Sucker Punch me? Like, this should be forcing a Terra of some sort here. And what are you going to do? Fairy Terra? I just hit you with Iron Head then. Protect is absolutely fine. Remember, the whole point of this lead was to get up the body, the Iron Defense, right? You can totally Trick Room. So let's see. How do I want to deal with this? You can Sucker Punch here. You can Low Kick here. I don't really think that matters. I kind of want to Protect, but let's see. I'll Body Press you. And I'll Eruption again. Dragon, you're... Oh, no, no, no. I'm not playing defensive. Oh, I'm not playing defensive. I'm not messing around here. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. So now the Farigiraf is kind of low. It's threatenable basically with whatever we want. And let's think. I can Iron Defense again. And you can hit this Entei, and I do not care. I do not care. Do not care. Helping Hand. Go nuts, buddy. That's a lot of damage, but it's not that much damage. Now we're, like, getting out of range for them to be able to do anything. Their best play here is Amoonguss, right? And we still haven't Terra'd yet. So I'm just going to Protect. And I kind of want to Erupt. That's fine. You have to read this. You have to, like, ignore me here. Are you ignoring me here? Let's see it. Yeah, see, they respect us, and they're just going to eat an Eruption in the face. You can totally hit the slot, because now, at this point, your Farigiraf is gone, right? So now I can bring in, like, any of these guys and just kind of win. I'm going to bring in the Dragonite, because this way we still win. And we're just going to go with, we're going to double into that. I think it's fine. Is that the play? Because they have Protect. I'm going to Iron Defense again. I will wake up. You're going to Protect here. Rage Powder? Yeah, it's E-Speed, though. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's Trick Room's up. I'm an idiot. Okay, it's fine. It's no big deal. That was a good play from them. I totally screwed the pooch on that one. But now I'm big. Now I'm +4. And now I can just go. Right? Cool. I actually think Tread is... Yeah, that was a good play. I forgot, like, Trick Room was up. That was a sloppy play from me, but it's all right. And let me just check. Yeah, I have Rocky Helmet there too. So, like, they can Rage Powder and, like, double into the slot, but then they get popped there. And, like, I don't know if they have something that can actually break the Treads at this point. There's a big defense stat. They also kind of have to Rage Powder or Pivot. They could, like, Protect Pivot. I don't know if that's going to be the play, though. Let's see it. I know it seems counterintuitive, too, to use, like, Body Press with, like, Shenpao on the board, but, like, at the same time, like, I think we're in a great spot. And we did waste Terra. Yeah, Rage Powder there. Sucker Punch. Oh, we actually get to keep this. I don't hate that play, because, like, honestly, you were going to lose. I think your best play there was, like, Sucker Punch there and just try and crit me. Because, right, I get to keep the Shenpao there. I actually thought they were going to do something a little bit different. And that's just it, right? We got +4. We basically did everything right to be able to set all that up. And there's no way the backs 1v1s here. So, yeah, we take those wins. I'm going to play one more, though. I'm going to play one more. Oh, my gosh. It's the Ice Horse Rodeo versus the Almighty Iron Treads. Okay, yeah, I'm going to lead with it. I like that team a lot. A bunch of horses over there. And I could actually just lead with Pult here, I think. What do you do? I just Oko your hat, right? Do I care? If I stop, I actually really like Pult here. I know Pult's bad here, though. I can feel it in my jimmies. I know that Pult's bad. What are you gonna lead? Like, what's your lead here? Pult's bad into like Farigiraf, but it's great into Hat. But I feel like they have both, right? I didn't mind the Entei as an option, honestly. Scissor's not bad here. I'm gonna lead Scizor here. What are you gonna do? What are you actually gonna do if I lead Scizor and these two? Are you gonna fake out? Like, I don't care, you know? I can just U-turn in your Farigiraf and then bring in something like Shempao, and then I don't dislike Entei. I don't dislike Dragonite here either. Dragonite's bad though, and yeah, I'm gonna bring the Entei. Entei's great into like Shempao, late game. I like that a lot. Cool. I wanted to lead Entei again, but I like this lead. Cool. So you can fake out whatever you want. You can fake out my Scizor. I'm letting you do it. You can have it. I don't need it. This just disincentivizes a lot of things. And then I'm going to be able to bring in my Shempao, Weave in to protect, soak like a Dazzling Gleam. They're going to like, oh, I can Dazzling Gleam that Shempao, and then I swap back into my Scizor, or like a Steel attack. So that's why I think Scizor and Shempao go together so well. Yes, they both share that fire weakness, but Shempao's weak against like Fairy and Steel, and Scizor resists them, and vice versa. Not really vice versa, but yeah, fake out's absolutely fine there. Let me get that Iron Defense and Trick Room, right? So the thing about them Trick Rooming here is this board state doesn't have any pressure, like at all. I'm not scared of anything. What are you going to do? Hyper Voice? Like, I don't care, really. And Close Combat's fine. It's good damage. Nasty Plot. Yeah, go nuts. Oh, God, that's so much damage. All right. And I think, I do think the Shempao is the right play. Yeah, because, like, Entei is not able to protect. So I like the Shempao. And there's our Iron Defense. Now let me think about how I want to deal with this, because like I don't dislike the double protect. I think I will. I hope they don't Nasty Plot again, bro. Close Combat, that's like I'm gonna Terrasilize next turn, I think. And Hyper Voice, they shouldn't be Throat Spray, but they might be. Cool, they're not. All right, so we're wasting out the Trick Room turns. This turn I will Terrasilize and just take that thing out. And I'm going to pivot back in the Scizor, which is probably going to take a shit ton of damage from this Hyper Voice. Like, we might die, but that's fine. Iron Head. Oh, okay. That's absolutely fine. Oof. A lot of damage on our treads here, but we're able to take that out, and then we just have one turn left on Trick Room. So I bring in the Shempao again. There's the Mudsdale, and I just go for a double protect, and I should be fine. And then we double into this thing, soak some damage on Mudsdale, pin their last mon, and we're good to go. And we still have that Scarf Entei in the back. So you can see, even though we just let them get up Trick Room, I think in both of these games, like it doesn't really matter because we have the almighty power of Iron Treads, right? I don't think people are like really prepared for this Pokemon. It's just so chunky. And they're thinking, I think their best play here is probably to anticipate that I'm Trick Rooming, pivot out the, what is that little thing? Berserker. So you can re-fake out pin a little bit later on in the matchup, but like honestly, it shouldn't really matter because we have a Inner Focus Entei coming in hot in the back. They still have their Terra available as well. I bet you they have like Water Terra on that Mudsdale. And I don't want to just proc the Mudsdale. I'm actually going to ignore the crap out of it if I can for a while until I can see what Terra it is. That's kind of like the best way to play this one. Okay, Electric Terra? Yo, I mean, go nuts. Is he going to Terra Blast me? It's a Terra Blast. Okay, it looks like Thunderbolt animation, dude. It's like, ooh, you just Terra Blasted me, bro. And that's a forfeit, so we take those wins. Yeah, we'll take those wins all the way to the bank. So yeah, this is how I would play an Iron Treads that has Body Press. I actually really like this set, and I think this could be like a regional level tech. This is one of those things you see on paper, and you're just like, crap, I don't have a matchup for like that type of Iron Defense Body Press user. A lot of people think that's like good on Komao, on like Hisui and Gudra, but this thing has a much different base speed tier, has different defensive base typing, and it actually stabs those iron heads and stuff like that too. So it's a good mon. I definitely think it's viable. And let's go into the last way that I think we should play Iron Treads. And this one we're going to take a look at Booster Energy. We haven't really used Booster Energy yet. And I definitely think that's a viable way to play it. So we're going to go Iron Treads here. And let's go Iron Treads. And we're talking about a booster energy. And I think I'm going to give the booster to my speed here. So I'm going to make Iron Treads a little bit of a speedy guy. I'm going to surround it with a couple Mons that have abilities that disincentivize Intimidates. We're going to put like a Galar Zapdos here. I like Galar Zapdos and Articuno here, but I like the Galar Zap because it's better against Incin. So basically I can pair Iron Treads with this with like an Earthquake next to like a flying type Defiant Mon. Very, very solid. I want 2 Defiant Mons, I think. Let's see. I don't know if I want to use King Gambit. I don't really want to use like Braviary. Ogerpon could work. Maybe let's look at competitive Mons. I could just use Galar Articuno. I could. Oh, Kilowattreo. Ooh, okay, sure. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for this. This is going to be sick. All right, cool. I'm vibing with this. All right. So we're able to, like, Earthquake spam. I want a second Earthquake Mon. So let's add more Earthquake Mons. I think that Landorus is the right one. So these. So you may be thinking, like, wow, we're stacking, like, a lot of really weird stuff here. I'm going to put a Gastrodon here. And then I think I'm going to add a Flutter. Ooh, we could have even add like a Bramblegast here, but I like this. So this is actually a really, really cool looking team. The thought process behind it is basically you don't want to intimidate these things. You would rather not intimidate these things. If you do intimidate these things, their abilities will activate and you will end up losing tempo. We have Tailwind Setters. We have things that will mitigate their multiple use of water attacks into these guys. This is going to be just for like Water Pond matchups. And then from there, like it lets these guys after speed control just kind of tear the matchup apart. So we're going to get a speed boost here. I'll start building this set. We're going to go Protect. We're going to go Earthquake. We're going to go Iron Head. And let me think about this last move. Like, I think that we have a lot of Mons we can Earthquake next to. We have 3, right? That's a lot. I don't know if I need Ice Spinner here. I'm going to put Rock Slide here. I'm going to make this into a little bit of a Lando, I think. Oh, we could even put Steel Roller. Steel Roller is actually really good on this Mon. Being able to take away their terrains. Hell yeah, dude. I'm going to try it. I ain't doing anything else with this Mon. Like, we don't want to just Earthquake things, so that's fine. This guy is going to have Detect, better than Protect. It's not able to be as imprisoned as easily. And then from there, I think I'm going to Sash this. Or I could Life Orb this one. Yeah, this guy can definitely be orbed. So this one will have Close Combat. I like Close Combat over Thunderous Kick on orb sets. Brave Bird. And then, actually, wait. I am going to Sash this. Sorry. I still like Close Combat on this set. Close Combat Dual Wing Beat. And then our last move is going to be... Ooh, we get Coaching. But we're slower than all the other things, so I don't really need it. Let's see. What else do we really need here, then? Gets Knock Off. Gets Taunt. I'll put Taunt, I think. Ooh, U-Turn's also good, but I like Taunt. I like Taunt on a lot of these monsters. It's just really, really solid. This thing will be Sashed. So, Protect, Tailwind, Discharge, and Air Slash. So we're building a little bit of an EQ Discharge core. And we're going to have, this guy's going to be Choice Scarfed, so probably going to have like Earthquake, U-Turn, Rock Slide, and probably Terra Blast. Cool. Gastron's going to be Protect, Yawn, and then Earth Power, Icy Wind. I like Icy Wind on Gastros. You'll be able to weave in those Protects, just get a little bit more speed control. And then Flutter Mane is going to be Spexed, and so it's going to be Moonblast. This is going to be a really weird Flutter Mane set. I like this one a lot. Moonblast, right? Dazzle. And then we're going to have... Yeah, I like this. Moonblast, Dazzle, Shadow Ball, and Terra Blast. And we're going to be probably Terra Flying, so we can pair it with these Earthquake Mons. And this is also a good tech into a Moongus. So it's really, really good stuff. So here is our team's moves so far. Let's make sure our abilities are right. Photosynthesis, Storm Drain, Intimidate, Competitive, Defiant, and Quirk Drive. So let's start adding our items. So we got the Booster, we have the Sash, we have, it's really hard to say. I'm going to Cloak this thing. Yep, and then Lando's going to be Choice Scarfed. And then this guy's going to have Lefties or Citrus Berry work. They're both solid here. I like the Lefties. And then the Choice Scarf. Choice Specs. Cool. Very, very solid. And let's start adding our EVs. So this guy needs to be able to get a boost into speed, right? So we need to have that be faster. You see, it's still, we can't really put like a ton of points into attack. We actually have to take some out so we still get the booster in speed. So that's the most attack that we can have. But then that makes the rest of its EVs a lot easier, right? Because remember, we need to get that booster energy. Actually, we can actually put a lot more in there. We can go full still. Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine with that. Bam, easy. Forgot we didn't have nature. But we want to be as fast as possible. Honestly, though, like we said, we still just want to outspeed that Lando slot, I think. Which we go back to like our first team here. Our set was 228 to get to 170, and I think that's totally acceptable for this. Yeah, like I said, I have like 2,300 million different teams on Showdown. My Showdown takes a little bit longer to load than some other people. So if we go 228 here. Not 228. Nature gets to 170. We can still afford the luxury of like basically full attack, and we're going to go hard with this guy. This is going to be so good. Zapdos, you can click the button, go full attack. I like to put my last 4 in HP on ones where they have the same base on all of them. Kill we don't actually need to outspeed everything with this guy. I think the most important Pokemon to outspeed with this would be Whimsicott. Right? Whimsicott right here. Whimsicott. And remember that, like, since we're not sashed here, that's one of the reasons why I decided not to sash this thing. Whimsicott gets to 116, right? If we make it timid, 184. If we put full investment here, we don't outspeed, so we still have to be timid, right? But we can take some points out and go to 185. And then we can go at 252, 4, 4, 60. Don't see this Mon in play that much, but I really do like it a lot. There we go. And let's see, Landos. Landos need like a very specific EV spread. I still like going full speed Landos to just outspeed other Landos, outspeed all the base 90s. There's a lot of popper base 90s like Hisui and Arcanine. You end up going 236 here, and then if you go 12, 4, 4, 4, this makes so you always actually eat an Urshifu Rapid Strike, like Adamant, Water Terra, Surging Strikes if you Terra away. So it's actually a really, really good EV spread. I've used it before. Gastrodon, I actually want a little bit of speed on my Gastros, just a little bit, just to be able to outspeed other Gastros. You don't ever need full HP investment on Gastrodon either, just because it's going to get a little bit of diminishing returns, which we've talked about in previous videos. If you want to see that, I'll try and leave like a link to some of the other videos that I've been doing in this series. Also, let me know if you guys like this series. If you guys like me just like talking out, you know, going over Mons, building teams every day, it's kind of nice, right? I like full investment on these Gastros for defense. Very, very good. You'll be able to mitigate a ton of damage on the defensive side. And then from there, probably like a 4. You know, do we even need the 4? Yeah, that's fine. So Gastrodon's still going to get diminishing returns on the Spadef side, but we don't really care about Spadef as much because we have really, really good mons against popular special attackers, especially if we get the speed control. Like Iron Treads is great into Flutters. Against Chi-Yu's, like we have the EQ Discharge Goon Squad here, so we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I think that's fine. There's nothing really wrong with that Gastro spread. Flutter, again, I don't think there's a problem with it. I want my Flutters to go first, and if you can intimidate me, like, go nuts. Or, sorry, not intimidate me. If you can, like, double tap the Flutter, go nuts. I don't just bring this thing out. I don't just lead with this. I use it as, like, a checkmate piece once I have my speed control up. So this should be pretty fun to play with. The last thing we have to do is set our Terras here. What Terra do I want? I'm going to make this Ghost, because you've been fake outed a couple times, and I want to just do my thing. So Ghost is going to be good here. Ghost is going to be good here. You can see we're going super degenerate here. We don't need to Ghost here because we have the Covert Cloak. So maybe think, what do I want to do here? We don't really need... I guess we would need Flying if we wanted anything, because we need to be able to not get Earthquaked. Oh, wait, yeah. Actually, hold on. I'm going to make this guy Flying. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Be able to, like, pair it next to Lando and, like, double EQ. That's going to be sick. Lando has to be Flying as well. And then Gastron's going to go Fire. This is just for checking water ponds. And then Flutter's going to be Flying as well. Oh my gosh, his team is, like, actually kind of just nuts. All right. And let's see if it wins any games. Here we go. All right, that's standard balance, like Roaring Moon balance. Like, we have so many mons that are really, really good into, like, soaking those breaking swipes. So I think, and the Intimidate. So they shouldn't bring in Sin, but I do think they're going to definitely still use a little bit of Amoonguss, which means we can bully. They also have the Water Pond if we wanted to bring Gastro. I think Fluttermane's good at closing things out as well. That being said, I'm going to lead Zap. I think Zap's a very, very solid lead into this team. And do I want to lead Kilowatt Trio? It's a good mon. It's a really good mon. I can trade Tailwinds with them. You can't really fake out it. I'm going to bring my Iron Treads in the back. I don't necessarily think Lando is required here. I think Fluttermane's going to be a little bit better than Lando. Let's go. Let's try this. In Sin! Yo, we take these boosts, boys. Defiant D's. Competitive D. Dude, this guy just walked into the... Bro. What? You good, bro? Holy shit, man. Okay. They outspeed us here, and they can just, like, pop this. And so I think the best play that I have is actually just, like, Ghost Terra, dual wing beat the Flutter. I think that will actually get the KO, and I'm just going to leave him to protect this turn. I can even double protect, I guess. I wonder what the Flutter is going to do. Actually, I will do that, because I can always just then next turn pivot out. Yeah, I'm just going to double protect. I don't want to waste my Terra here. There's no reason to waste my Terra here. Oh, shit, dude. What a gamer. This guy just woke up and chose damage, huh? Cool. Alright, so I shouldn't outspeed that Flutter. But now I don't have to Terra, right? I think this KOs. I don't need to just take and put this mon in the garbage yet. I can probably get another boost. Man, they woke up just angry, bro. It's like, I don't care about your birds, bro. Amoonguss on the dual wing beat pivot, huh? Okay. Yeah, we take these. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Amoonguss? What Amoonguss, bro? I didn't even heard of that Pokemon. You could totally Flare Blitz me here, but now I threaten your Flutter. I'm faster than you. have an Iron Treads, right? And you already Terra'd, right? And you have no Protect, right? Iron Treads kind of just that guy. You can Terrastalize here, but I don't see an issue with protecting. You're going to Spiky Shield and try and break one of these guys, right? I'm not going to let you. Not going to let you. And then what I'm actually going to do is, depending on if they Spiky Shield, I might just double into the instant slot. I might just like close combat that slot. Yeah, Helping Hand, they're going deep. Horn Leech there. Good play, good play. Let's see. Well, honestly, like Fluttermane comes out and pins hard if I stick damage into this guy. So I'm just going to get that off the board if I can. And, I mean, yeah, that's just the play. We outspeed anyways. Yeah, cool. I'm down with this. Show me that Spiky Shield, Flare Blitz, my Zap. Show it to me. Show me a good time, yo, let's go. Oh my goodness, that's what I'm talking about. See, there's Citrus, doesn't really matter. And send down. So now you have a Flutter, right? You have a Flutter and a Water Pawn. And we're putting you in a situation where you kind of need to redirect an Iron Head, right? So let's see. Do I just double tap with... I think I do just double tap with Earthquake. Like if I protect Earthquake... That's not right. If I just double tap... Because if I click Iron Head there, you can't attack me with these guys. And that just wins me the game. You don't have Protect. You're totally choiced. Yeah, I got this. You can Rage Powder. Yeah, I'm sorry, you can follow me. You could have definitely followed me. Like, bro, I do not care. I do not care. I'm Iron Treads. Yeah, this is fine. Iron Treads don't give a freaking shit. These are all bad. Alright, we're still fine. Cool. Yeah, Iron Tread's still just kind of nutty. Don't want to take the damage. But yeah, like, Iron Treads is kind of just good, man. They get a double Spike Shield. Yo, what gamers. What a gamer. They're going to outspeed and kill the Zapdos and then take the damage, and then we just win with, like, whatever we have in the back. Kill Watcher is actually pretty nice to be able to bring in here, I think. I still think we have Terra up, too. Yeah, they go for the triple. Yo, go nuts, bro. They let in Sin into this team, so like we take these all the way to the bank, yo. Iron Shred's absolutely amazing. Like I think this Pokemon's really cool, and I hopefully you guys like this series where I show you a Pokemon that I like that I think is not being explored to its fullest potential and show 3 completely different ways to play it. This booster energy set, yes, it uses the same speed tier, but the whole rest of the team is like a crazy different way to play it. This body press Iron Defense set, relatively standard, but the teammates that we have force our opponent to respect different things. It makes our Iron Defense a lot easier to get off, which means we just win with body press in the late game, because the things that beat all these hyper aggressive mons on these like prio spam teams don't really work that well in Iron Treads. That's why the team works. Same thing for this first team that we made, the balance team. I think it's really, really good. It gives Iron Treads all the tools it needs to actually play a little bit longer game. Basically, still, like we said, we looked at the calcs. We two-shot a lot of different mons. Even after Intimidate, it's still a two-shot. So it's just a really, really cool mon. Hopefully, you guys like it. And if you guys like this series, I would really appreciate you leaving a like on the comment. Or sorry, a like on the video. Leave a comment down there. I'm working really, really hard at making this series work. I'm trying to do one every 2 or 3 days. And yeah, you guys see it. I make these from scratch right here. I have a rough idea of kind of what mon I want to start building. But then I just add the mons as we go, as we explain what the team needs to be fleshed out. So yeah, if you guys like this series, let me know in the comments. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.